Hey, it's Flango, and today we're going to start a series where I upgrade the starter decks. The first one is the Bog. So the way this plays is well, it plays, hang on, let me sort this by cost so I can actually talk to you. It plays Ephemeral Garden for mana, and it plays Miracle Mage to heal those up, and then after that, um, build up towards Forest Wyverns and Chimera, play them on swamps, and, you know, finish off with Swift. So first thing that sort of shows to me is that the Maneater really doesn't fit in this deck. So let's just take it out right away. Next thing is I don't like Shockwave in this deck at all, but I mean we'll keep it in for now. Miracle Mage. I know it helps with the mana economy, but I think we can do a lot better. Um, Miracle Mage doesn't do much. It's a slow card, and yeah. So let's look into mana right now. I'm thinking, I mean, so if we're gonna keep the Chimera as the king, which we don't have to, it might be best to run. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna suggest the best version of this deck. So we're actually gonna remove the Chimera too. We're gonna run Bog Dweller. That'll be our king. It's a slower deck. It's not quite as aggressive as the Chimera version, but it does have some benefits. So we're gonna actually remove the Swifts. We're gonna finish in another way, Vilebog. So same idea. We're gonna play the swamps. We're gonna use Swamp Terror, and we're gonna finish them off with 15 damage to the face. And we're gonna play some Forest Wyverns, but we're not gonna play Shockwave. Instead, we're gonna run a card called Wraithblade. Wraithblade gives us 6 damage on our Bog Dweller, and it also makes us have free money. So that's good. Now we're getting somewhere. We just need to finish off the deck. So now that I've added this Wraithblade, and we're getting a lot of mana, I think it makes the most sense to add in some more cards that are high damage on Swamp. That would be Giant Scorpion or Great Oak Spider. I'm going to throw in one of each, because they're basically the same, you just get to choose. And then I'm actually going to run Chimera as well, as another sort of finishy card. If you get to the point where you're playing Chimera, you're probably winning. So already that's sort of the deck. No fancy or nothing super special or super fancy. It's the same deck. You build up towards your expensive cards like your Forest Wyvern, your Great Oak Spider, your Giant Scorpion, your Chimera. But this time I've done it with a slightly more useful mana economy in Wraithblade. And then I've also switched the Killing Blow. It used to be Swift, but I've turned it into a Vilebog. We could still run Swift, to be honest. Actually, you know what? Just to stay true to the old deck, let's try Swift. It might not work, but we'll try it out. Now, I have one more thing I want to look into, and that's maybe turning one of these Forest Wyverns into a Cloning Seeds. Because then if we end up doing a lot of Wraithbladey stuff, then we can just clone it. Cloning Seeds can now become Forest Wyvern, if we have it, or Great Oak Spider, or Giant Scorpion, whichever one feels best in the scenario. As well as it could become Bog Dweller or Chimera. Or, you know, even Swamp Terror. So yeah, that's my updated version. You'll see that I've made it quote unquote less consistent because I've added these things here. But I didn't actually, because all of these you can think of this as a three of just Forest Wyvern. And actually, if you're still on a big budget and you don't have all of these cards, which is fine, just play a couple Forest Wyverns or play a couple Oak Spiders or play a couple Scorpions, whichever one you have two of. Just take away one and play the two. And if you want, you could just play a three of. Cloning Seeds would then probably not be necessary. Cloning Seeds is Yeah, not necessary in this deck. You could also play, instead of Wraithblade, you could play Harvest Blade. The reason I play Wraithblade is because Bog Dweller can heal up that damage it's taking from Wraithblade. And that's really useful. Because getting 6 damage is awesome for finishing off opponents. So yeah, that's sort of the deck. I mean, again, like I said, you could take away Swift and you could just play the Boggy thing. Now there's a second version of this deck that you could run, which I don't feel is still the same deck as the starter deck. But you basically ignore these 3 cards here, and then you play cards like Barrier instead, and then you just focus on killing your opponent with your Bog Dweller. And then you would run more Cloning Seeds instead of these cards. And you would get rid of Chimera, and it would just all be about your Bog Dweller and cloning your Bog Dweller. But that is not the point of this deck. This deck is all about getting up to this 20 mana sort of area, and then finishing the game. So let's show it off. Oh, where did that go? Here it is. Play tower mode. I don't know if we'll do the whole tower. We might just play 2 or 3. I don't want to make this a super long video. Okay, so for the first round, it makes sense just to play super aggressive. I don't even know what he has in his deck that has mana cost. So I'm going to go into the middle here to cover all the options. And I can see that this is a crystal, so that's likely where he'll want to go. So I'll do this one, so that he has to go to that one. And then I can move up and do the same play. The goal here is to use Swamp Terrors to get rid of all of his crystals, and then finish him off. Now he only has 3 places he can go, and this one's already covering 2 of them. So let's move in. And it should be 1 or 2 turns until he dies. I can cover everywhere he can go by going here. And at this point, it makes sense just to play some mana. The next turn, Giant Scorpion will hit him. He did a pretty good job protecting himself there. I'm almost tempted to just play the Swamp, to be honest. Or even just to get more mana. There's a somewhat real chance he goes there, but that would be a mistake because I can hit him 3 times. Here would be more likely. Or backing off, yeah. Now I could kill him with the Bog Dweller. I have a lot of options here. I would like to just hit him with the Spider. So the Spider will cover all these squares, so I can move in here, cover these 2 squares. I'm going to use the Scorpion because it does more damage. So then with Swift next turn, he's dead, no matter where he goes. And then 8 plus 8 is only 16. So I'll just go this way. Right here just to cover more places he can go. Cool. Here it is. I go here. I can swing with the Forest Wyvern. It's not really enough. I could play Swift. I don't know if it's really necessary. I'd like to make that a swamp because he can go there. He'll probably just keep playing cards. So Swift will bring him elsewhere. Like it'll bring him down to a low health, but I think it's better to just do something that will cover more of his options. So like he has the ability to go here and here, both pretty unhurt. But these squares here, he'd have to play a minion. So I can like play here to just kill his minion next turn. Or I could save up for Chimera, to be honest. Let's do that. Vampire Unleashed is very good at running, but not good at killing. So like I don't feel very scared of the Vampire Unleashed right now. Because I shouldn't. Surely this is when he dies, right? Nope, not yet. He'll try to go into those squares. I'll just play the Wyvern now. He can't hit the Wyvern, because he would die. He's going to? Alright, yeah. Cool. That deck is very hard to chase down, but it eventually dies. It never leaves enough cards behind to actually do anything. In this case, I could play for mana, but I really want to just make sure he doesn't have any mana. That's how this whole game's gonna go. Is me saying, can you get rid of your mana, please? So, if I get sort of an early attack on Shenlong, makes it a little better thing. Yeah, he can boom, but that doesn't do much. He hit his own Castle Knight. It's kind of a bug, I think. I just remembered that I'm not playing the deck that I was initially thinking of. So this isn't as good to just go aggro on him. So I'm going to do this. And I could go in to his range. I'd only take 20 damage, which I heal back up. But it's not like I take much damage from this guy. I literally take 1. So, whatever. Now I can kill it. This guy might want to explode. Just lower that card down to low. And in a turn or two, I'll try to brawl the Shenlong, maybe. I wish I had 1 more mana, but I don't. So I'm gonna go here to threaten to kill the bottom feeder. It can swim away, but that's fine too. Actually, let's do this so it can't swim away. This thing is very likely to explode, so it doesn't make sense to bring the Swamp Terror in. Okay, he'll use the Flood to swim back, which is fine. Since he moved, I'm actually gonna just hit him. I have bonus on Ocean too, I think. Yeah, I do. So I'm doing 21 and he's only doing 20. And now I can play this, just so that I have a little bit more mana than him. I'm staying out of this range because I'm trying to convince the computer that it has the ability to out-damage me. Cool. So do I kill him now? 21, not quite. Right, 21 plus 14, that's only 35. Wait. Yeah, that's 35. Yeah, so there we go. That's why this card is better than Chimera. Let's see. I don't know if I really feel like playing against the Cosmos Dragon. Yeah. It's gonna be like a long match, but I don't think I lose it. Maybe I do actually, because I don't have the... Sorry. Usually the way that I beat this deck is I just poke him out. But I can't do that here, so I'm gonna have to play to the end game and outvalue him, which I can do, it's just gonna take forever. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should just end the video here. I only do 21 with the swamp, so I actually have to back off here, which is fine. Just gonna play more mana. Tired. How much does this thing cost? 40? Oh, that's nothing. I can actually just spawn a new one now. Oh yeah, you can't copy it anymore. Oh my god. That was a big mistake. But I guess I can copy... Wait, how much does that cost? Too much. Copy is Nebulous. And to be honest, I'll do it. It'd take a little bit of damage, but whatever. So here is... I think I'm just gonna try to kill the Astrals. That was not a great play from him. He is still on Crystal Terrain, but still. I'm considering playing the Wraithblade. I won't, but only because I can do this. Soon I'm gonna need to take him off of the Crystal Terrain and start hitting him. But right now, he doesn't have enough things to stop me from doing anything. Can actually just start poking him. Kill this. Move up. Is this dual zigzag? Yeah, it is. Interesting. I mean, so I could just swamp now. Next turn I have Swift. But it feels like I might as well just play this then. Get some damage done. That way this thing dies next turn. Well, I guess that didn't make my swamp do anything. That didn't put him on swamp terrain. But this is okay. I can move in here to heal a little bit more, and then I can just start bashing on this. Maybe I should swamp now. I mean, he wouldn't be on the swamp terrain, so probably not. Let's just start generating more mana, to be honest. Mana is the way to win this game, because he doesn't have a lot of high value cards in his deck. So as long as I'm killing the Soul Collectors, he doesn't win. Oh, the Nebulous can't swing without dying. I could play the Wraithblade to get more mana. Might as well. Get to Chimera eventually. I thought I could kill that. Oh well, we'll wait a turn. It's a pretty good play from him. He can now blow up the Nebulous, but he won't. Okay. I want to kill the Nebulous, to be honest. I only need 8 damage, so we can do this. Where to put this guy is a real question, though. And then, I mean, at this point, I might want to just let the Nebulous blow this guy up. I still have another one, and I could play Chimera. This guy has 22 attack. That's pretty good. We can just kill this. Get some health. I mean, get some mana. It sucks that I misused my cloning seeds, but, like, look at this. He's got nothing on the board. Next turn, we can swing at him all we want. Oh, I meant to put it there. It's not a big deal, but basically all I lose is these squares. It's kind of important to deny the mana from him. So let's do it. I think I'm going to use the Great Oak Spider because it has a lot of health. No. Well, yeah, that. I'm going to save the high health card for the Cosmos Dragon. 23 times 2 is more than 40, but it is not more than 51. And we'll hit this so he can't escape. So now we've developed this huge board presence that our opponent can't really stop. I'm actually going to tank a hit because I don't want him to have any mana. And I think if he does hit me, then that's not even the end of the world for me. I can go here so he can't do it without risking some health. And you know what, I'll do this too. Yeah, I was thinking there must be a very low chance that he actually hits me. He can play Crystal all he wants, he's right next to a Swamp Terror. Question is, do I want to sacrifice the Swamp Terror at this point in the game? Answer is probably no. I felt like killing the Astral Fissure, so I guess I will sack the Swamp Terror. I think I'll just do this though. I don't think he hits the Swamp Terror ever. Yeah. Crystal Dare is weird. So it's another chasing kind of game. The thing with high mobility kings is that they do this. They force your opponent to really chase you down. But eventually it happens. It's just, does it happen now or does it happen in 20 turns? That should be his last crystal. He might have one more. Yeah, he has one more. Okay. He's next to a Swamp Terror, so he's going to take some damage. I'll come in here, and then I'll swing. Now, he can come down here, and he can come up here. So the way I'll stop him is I'll go right here for these cards, or these spots. And then for the downward spots, I'll just move in here. I cover this a little bit. He can still go there, but only there. I could use Swift now, just to lower his health. Oh no, I already played a card. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of his only spot he could have gone. Is there a way I can Swift and hurt him? No. Okay. Well, I can Swift with this, but that's not very good. So we'll just keep covering these options. It's a rough sort of playstyle, but what can you do? I'm at the point where I can just spend this mana just to get some attacks. Alright, how do I cover the most board possible? I need to cover that square, so I need to go in this way. Now I'm covering all that, and I am covering this corner. And I'm covering all these squares already by this guy. So the only squares I'm scared of him going to now are those. So I can cover these three. That one is the worst, but I can cover it like that. Now he's gonna go back there. But I have some coverage of this area. So it's not too worrisome. Cool. So now this covers the corner. This guy's already covering a lot. But I could move in and cover the whole sort of area here. So now I'm really just worried about this back corner, and here I go. Cool. I think we might finally have the ability to kill him. Maybe. We just have to do that one more time. So, right here, that covers all these. Now, this is already covered, but I'll cover it one more time. And then all of these guys. This would cover these two plus that. And then the corner is already covered. But I'll move up to cover these four. Actually, this covers all of that. This is good. That's a good spot to be. Right there and there. See, we're learning already. Okay, so he's gonna swing. That's sort of what I predicted, to be honest, but we have Swift to finish him off. So that was a really long match, and this video is already long enough, so I don't want to finish off the tower, but you can sort of see how I've improved this deck, how this deck plays. It's the same sort of idea where you're just playing for mana and then playing for some value cards, but I've added more value cards. I've increased the different value cards that we have. I've added some more options to the deck, and then I've added some strong, like we've improved the king and added some stronger sort of cards that help to improve the deck further. But overall, like the essence of the deck is the same. All we did was change some mana cards into other mana cards that work better with the deck. Turn this into multiple copies. Switch the king. That's really it. Everything else is about the same. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this deck. I'll do the other two starter decks tomorrow and the day after. Thanks for watching.